Yes, but I disagree with that. I don't think there are human beings in the world who just like have no reason to hate somebody else and they just hate them. I think there is a legitimate reason in their minds that they have convinced themselves they hate black people. Example.
That's literally why they made black people
Yes,
slaves,
but
so they
because
could
of the
dehumanize
decisions
them.
or the things that they do, maybe it's nothing bad.
I'm talking about slaves. I'm talking about slaves.
They have a right to take them as prisoners of war.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why are you saying
okay.
this so sarcastically?
No, I'm not saying it sarcastically. I'm legitimately asking you. But if you want to start shouting, we can all start shouting. So just take it down a notch.
You just came out very condescending.
No, bro. I'm not being condescending. I'm legitimately trying to narrow it down so we can move on or actually have a real discussion. But we just agreed that the whole idea of racism generated from racial biases. Yes, but if you were to change the racial biases, then nobody would be racist anymore, bro. And there would be no racial biases.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, okay, but no, but you don't agree because you're arguing there are actually people who are against the color of their skin. Yeah, so you're saying that basically they're looking at one statistic, one metric, and people are going, oh, they're black, crime increased. Black people equals crime. That's what you're saying is being, that's the bias. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the bias that they develop.
And then that's what we, there's a word for it. It's called implicit bias.
Yeah. That's
and then they
definitely
treat black people differently. And so,
I think that's just the stupidity of being ignorant in life. I mean,
but you need to think
because if you
most
were to,
people don't think about stuff like that.
If you were to do a bit of research like we just did here, like within the 5 minutes span, you would have to be like completely oblivious to reality to not come to that same conclusion, right?
Yeah, but most people don't think that much about it. They just hear it in the news. They're not really politically, because we are not the norm. We are here on a political Discord where we have constant conversations. But most people, they don't think much about politics.
No, yeah, I agree with that.
They go their daily lives.
I agree with that, my friend.
There's so much other stuff going on in their life.
But it's not that clear to me that racism, what you're talking about, is that's where it stems from. It doesn't seem like crime. Maybe that's one part of it. Today.
No, that's today. That's the difference. Because in the past, you had real racism, as I would say.
Yeah, where it's just like you're different to me. Yeah, you're different to me. Yeah.
And so that's the reason why we need to kill it.
Yeah.
So that's basically because of your genetics. You need to be killed. And nowadays, it's the majority, I would say 99% of racistic shit that's going on is just a bias that people have about black people or other groups.
Wait, so a racial bias, what is that? Discriminating on someone based on their skin color, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Or their ethnicity. Or their ethnicity, or their religion, or
racial bias.
No, sorry. Yeah, racial.
Racism.
Yeah.
Right?
It is. But there is a difference because a person that has a racial bias, there is a reason why they have that, and you can work with them to overcome these problems.
Wait, do you not think
when you have somebody
have a reason for being racist?
Wait, say that again.
Do you not think most racists have a reason for being racist?
Usually, they have. Usually it's based out of ignorance. They don't actually have a reason. It's what they've grown up and been taught.
There are reasons, but I would argue it's harder to convince someone that think, oh, that is a black baby, it's bad, we need to do something against it, to be not that racist, than compared to someone that has just a racial bias and think, oh, black people are more criminal, and that's the reason why I don't like them that much. And so when you have a talk
in my life, haven't met a lot of actual racists, like, oh, if I see a black baby, I want to kill it.
Yeah, I don't
think I've ever met a person that has that opinion.
Yeah, but that's your personal level. Where are you from, first of all? Wait,
people nowadays in America who are racist against black people are
it's a racial bias.
Openly racist. They have a racial bias.
Yeah,
they have a racial bias,
right? Yeah. Which is racism.
Yeah, it is it's but the difference is, I would argue, they engage in racist behavior. Yeah, absolutely. But so they engage in racist actions, but they themselves are not really racist because they
How
would,
come? How
no,
come?
because they when they would meet a black person in their life, yeah, and they had some talk with them, even 5 minute talk, they see, hey, it's okay, dude, then that black person is absolutely okay. And the difference is to a real racist,
Wait,
they see a black person, and even when they have 5 minutes talk with them, they
I
see
think I
them
can
as,
help you
hey,
out
as
here.
something that's
no,
bad.
sorry, but do you see
I
how you're
mean, I
applying a
am the
different
resident black
standard
person.
Yeah, but
do
you
see
don't
how you're not
necessarily
actually
need to
applying?
be black to
So
talk on these
the
issues. At least I don't think so.
It's just the easiest way
Racism
to
exists not just to black people, but to like
yeah,
other forms of
absolutely.
people.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
that's not what I was implying.
yeah,
I'm just
but it
saying,
kind of that it
when
was
we're talking about
exactly what
black
you were
people in
implying.
America specifically, I feel.
Well, you can tell me your personal experience, but there are
Yeah,
more
that's what
than there's more than one
yeah,
way
that's
to
what I'm
look at this.
saying.
There's like a sociological level, so on the grand scale of things, and then there's a personal level, so where are you from and how is it in your area? And I think that more on the topic, I think there should be a bigger focus on the sociological level. So if you were to go into the 1900s, on the 1800s, where racism was actually a threat, meaning that every single institution, business, entity, corporation, whatever, was all working against the black man. And then you look at America today, where it's like there are racist people that just have a bias against a specific race. Those are two like very different things. I think.
And you can solve it through simple education, not really
Yeah,
complex, but just
I don't.
simply telling the people that these biases exist.
Yeah,
And make
TMI,
them
tell us,
aware of
bro.
that.
TMI, what were you gonna say, bro?
I definitely do not disagree with you. Like I think everything you just said was incredibly like well incited and really correct. I'm
Cool,
just
man.
what I said earlier is what I'm saying. What I'm saying earlier was that a lot of racism is based out of ignorance. There is no real reason to be racist. I grew up in Alabama in the South.
Wow.
My dad was born in 1960 in Jim Crow, Alabama. Like I've dealt with like racism and ignorance and things of these nature my entire life. And a lot of like as what's your name? The boss said a lot of these people, it's purely out of ignorance. A lot of these people who hold these racist beliefs have never sat down and had talked to a black person. If you know of that, Daryl Davis, the musician who talks to a bunch of KKK and he's got a bunch of people out of the KKK.
Yeah.
He said himself that when he talks to these people, a lot of them have never had a discussion, have never sat down and ate with black people. There was one time, I think, recently when he was on that panel of Destiny, he was talking about how he was playing music in the band, and he had
Oh shit! Yeah, now I remember. Yeah. I saw that debate. Yeah, the big guy.
Yeah, that's Daryl Davis. He was talking to one of those.
He was a KKK leader. He was one of the big guys. Yeah. And he went into the bar, and I remember that. Yeah.
Exactly. And even though there were some that didn't want to talk to him next time he came around, the ones that did, hadn't talked to him, like because when you haven't interacted with something, that's when you come to these wild conclusions about things, and that's why ignorance beats these things like racism. And obviously there's a sociological extent to that, where they're getting fed a bunch of propaganda from less than stellar sources, or they're getting fed a bunch of bullshit from their parents. But all of that, regardless, is still bred out of ignorance first and foremost.
But there were also, if you remember, I'm pretty sure you do, there was examples of like, there were like, maybe it was just like one or two who, even after he showed up after so many times, like he knew that they didn't want nothing to do with him and he didn't want nothing to do with them. Like they were just a bit as big of a part of that group as anybody else. So why didn't they instinct? It's an interesting topic. And I think that
because people are just more likely to
well, they just more ignorant.
Stay consistent. No, people are just more likely to stay consistent with their own personal beliefs that they've held for a very long time.
Yeah, but
if I told, like, obviously this is a fucking off the wall statement, but if I told you this fucking sky was green and you've known your entire life that it was blue,
it's hard to change your opinion.
It's gonna be hard to change your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, but the difference here is having a racial bias is basically the lack of information that you have, because you need to understand why black people do more crime and shit like
Yep,
that when
yep.
you go into that. And then you see, oh, black people on themselves are not really evil. They just have circumstances that lead to that. And we need to, and the solution is also different, because now
Yeah.
we need to do something against these fucked up circumstances that the black people have a better time
Yep.
and don't go into crime. So
Yep.
then they do less crime, and because they do now less crime,
Yep.
people
Alright,
over
here's a
time will
question to you.
view them
Here's a question
differently.
to you, my
But
friend.
then
Alright,
you have
just let me ask one
somebody
question, my
else.
friend.
Wait,
Real quick,
give me
No,
a
just give
second
me
and
1
I'm
second.
finished.
No, just give me a second.
One
I have one
sentence,
question
dude.
for you.
One
Alright,
fucking
1 second.
sentence, and I'm finished.
Go ahead.
The sentence is that then you have other guys that are racist, and as I say, true racist. They believe just because you're black, that's the reason why you're evil. And to go and teach them that that's not true is really hard, because you don't really have proof, or a hard time of finding some proof to convince them otherwise, because they're completely not open to that. So that
Yeah, go dormant one. Go. What were you?
Alright, so
go.
let's say let's say you have a person, right? This person has a racial bias, and
Mhm.
you have another smart individual confront them on their racial bias, and then that person that has the racial bias does not change their opinion, right? Does that person still have a legitimate racial bias, or is that person now a racist?
It takes time to overcome racial biases, and maybe it doesn't work in the first run. Maybe it needs a couple of runs. So it depends. I would
So
try it
at what
further.
point does a person become a racist
Good
instead of them just
question.
having
No,
a
no.
racial bias?
You ask them about the belief system. Why they think that that people, the group, be it black or other ethnic group, are less worth or evil or shit like that, depending on what he believes. And then you listen to him. When he says, "Oh yeah, just because they're black," then you know, okay, he is a real racist. Because they're genetically black, that's the fucking reason.
But nobody says that, right?
When
Nobody
wait,
just says
yeah,
that
No,
just
because
people
because
they
they're
definitely do say
black.
that. People
Some-
definitely
Wait,
say
there
that.
are actually
yeah,
people who say that.
some
I'm gonna have to go on
That's-
dormant
but it's-
one
Have
side
you
here.
guys never heard of race realism?
Wait,
this is
today, in the
what
world we live in
Fuentes
today.
talks about.
Wait.
This is what Richard Spencer
Okay,
talks
yeah,
about.
but
There's
they're
real-
like
it is a
outspoken
small
Nazis, bro.
amount. Yeah, that
I mean,
is
but
Nazism.
yeah,
And
they're on the
that's a
very far
really
extreme of
small.
it.
Wait, I
Yeah,
mean,
and
who
there are
gives a
people
fuck
who
about their
believe that-
opinion?
Well, there are people who believe that just because I am black, I'm genetically dispositioned to commit crime, to fucking like rap, to sell,
Oh
there are
yeah,
people that believe
definitely,
that.
Yeah,
bro.
and look, that these people are then the real racist. But when you hear, oh yeah, black people do more crime, and then you tell them, yeah, but there are circumstances why they do it, because they're more poor.
Yeah,
You
but
can
they're not.
see that
No.
white
Wait
people
one
too,
second.
when
Ham,
white people are more
bro.
poor, then they do more crime too. And when they understand that, and then say, oh yeah, that's true to white people, and then you say, yeah, you see, there are maybe some reasons why black people are more prone in our society
Wait a
to
minute,
do more
bro.
crime.
Wait a minute,
Yeah?
because we can.
And
Wait.
when he understands that and it's open for that, then you know, yeah, he just has a bias.
Okay, so wait, maybe their problem is not just with black people. Like I get that with Nick Fuentes, but Nick Fuentes, are they just against black people? Because it
I
doesn't
have
seem
no
that
fucking
case.
idea.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, but we were just talking about
I'm
racism.
not
Yeah,
in general,
okay.
right? It wasn't-
But
Yeah,
their
just black
problem
people.
is not with other races. Their problem is they are superior. There's a big difference there because that puts them against other things. It's not inherently wait a minute. It's not inherently understandable that they're against black people, which is what the dormant one is trying to say. It's that they feel they have a superiority over other races. Every other race except for the white race.
Not necessarily.
What do you
They
mean not
can.
necessarily? They're like
No,
openly white supremacists, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree. There are openly white supremacists,
Yeah.
but you also have people that are just believing that one group as person is evil from birth.
Who? I want
Because
an
of
example.
certain circumstances.
I want an example of somebody who's white who's legitimately just against black people
No, not necessarily. I mean, I would
that you know of.
that I know of.
What about you,
That's-
TMI?
That's a very
Problem is,
hard.
yeah,
Wait,
you
TMI, tell me
have
you.
that many
You
black
tell me,
people,
bro.
So it is more about East Europeans that are disliked in my country. And when it comes to East Europeans, yeah, my grandmother.
Yeah, so then the dormant one has a
For the most
point,
part,
bro.
she
Wait a
really
minute.
hates
Wait. We have to call this out. Yo, dormant one, say something, bro. I think you got a point. I think I might have just proved it. Yeah? No?
Sorry, I'm playing a video game, so
Oh,
I'm
you're not paying
100%.
attention, bro. I'm
I'm also,
supporting you.
but I mean, that's just. I mean, most people who hate like a specific race hate majority of races that aren't their own.
Yeah, there you.
So
No,
it's gonna be hard
no.
to
Wait a
find.
minute. They're like the fucking. Wait a minute. Let's think
It
about that.
depends on the area. It depends on the area because when most of the time it's because of their history, the country's history and shit like that, that they hate other groups. Because
Honestly,
there were hundreds of years ago there were some conflicts going on, and that's the fucked up reason why it goes further to this day.
honestly, Ham, do you know why it happens, bro? Do you know at the most fundamental, basic bitch level, it is simple. I am superior to you, okay? I need to be superior to you so I don't fear you because you are a different race to mine, and if I am superior to you, then I ultimately win. So if I'm scared of you, if you are different to me, then inherently it is in my worst interest to support you. At its most basic level, that is what it is. And I think
Yeah,
that
but as I say, you can have that just with a couple of groups or one group where you think like
yeah, but
that.
this is an old way. Like racism is as old as time itself, bro. Like,
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But you can also think about, oh yeah, there's one group or people from one country, and we had some conflict with them.
Yeah.
And I see them as not worthy being a human. Yeah, so I don't treat them like a human because they're from that country, because we had some conflict going on and shit like that. But with other countries, I have no problem. So it's not about, oh, I am so fucking superior because I'm that race. It's more about, oh yeah, that group maybe did something that I see as absolutely wrong. And now I teach my children that these people are from birth evil and shit like
They
that. And
want
then,
to be superior. And if they dismiss you as something
yeah,
less than, then they ultimately achieve that goal.
yeah, against certain groups, yeah, but not necessarily because you said most of
Against
them
any
against
group.
every. No, not because you will see. You can go in the US. You can ask them about people go to the most racist person and ask them about Asian people.
Yeah.
Pretty likely he
So
doesn't
you
have
just
a
say
big
they're
problem
they're
with
one of the
Asian
good
people
ones.
in the US.
They-
Yeah, because he says, yeah, that's one of the good ones because he doesn't have a hatred against them. That's
But why
one of the
not?
Well,
yeah,
when
because
you talk to and as someone who's talked to a
has
lot
a
of racist
hatred
people,
for the
when you
blacks.
talk to racist people, it's yes they some people they don't like because like they're race and they want to be more than, but when there's races that exceed those expectations, like you'll always hear racists say, "Oh, I don't like black. I may not like African Americans, but Africans here seem to be doing pretty well for themselves." Or they'll say like Asians have really made the most of everything, or things like that. They'll speak highly of those different races. So
yeah,
Mm.
so it's not only about one race is superior against all others.
Yes, but
It's more in
then if like
Nazi
yeah,
thing that
if
they
they're against like black people and
even
like
they
because of a
even they
specific
do.
reason, and then like Asians were to come in and start doing the same things as the black people, would they not have the same problem with the Asians now?
They would totally.
Okay, so is there a
then
problem
it's,
with black people or not?
no, that's then you have a racial bias now.
Wait, no,
When
it's the
when
opposite.
it's only based on actions that the people do, then
Yeah.
it's more about a racial bias that you don't have.
Everything is going to be based on actions that other people do. Every
Yes,
single
bro.
behavior, every
Yes,
single
exactly.
thing we do as humans is going to be based on
No,
actions other people do.
in that moment that you say, oh yeah, it's born, it's genetically, then it's not about action anymore because it's a baby. It has nothing done wrong. It cannot even do something wrong.
I can't
The
agree with
reason
you
why
on
you
that.
believe a
And
race
then
is
it's a different
genetically
story.
inferior, the reason why you believe a race is genetically inferior is because of the actions that you've seen them do.
Yes,
Your
their
right idea,
predecessors,
right?
their fathers, their mothers, their
Yeah, but
grandparents, and you
that's the
associate
moment.
them with the same
Yeah, but
fucking narrative.
I
Yeah.
agree with you, but that's the moment when
Yeah, but if you
the
agree,
racial
then you
bias.
ultimately disagree with your own
Yeah,
point.
Yeah, I will explain it to you. So that's the moment when the racial bias evolves from a racial bias to being a real racist, deeply racist person.
Yeah, that's not
Because
implicit
now-
bias anymore. I agree with him. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
because-
it grows from implicit bias to just
Wait,
like nothing will change their mind. That's just a racist person.
wait,
Yeah.
yeah, but
That's
Because
it
there's
evol-
there's difference between implicit bias and racism. Implicit bias is like what the cops have. That's why
Yeah.
whenever you hear implicit bias, there's usually in reference to cops or peoples of authority. When we're
I'm
talking
literally
about
looking up
actual
implicit
racists-
bias now to understand what the fuck you guys are talking about, because I don't know this specific terminology.
in my country, the police has extra training against that shit. Because they know what the fucked up problem that is, and it's naturally that you evolve that shit because it's to your survival that you see certain groups do shitty things that can harm you, so you learn that you can survive better, that you should be in an alarm state when you are with these people. Yeah, that's basically a primal instinct to some degree.
Okay,
that we
bro.
have left
Okay,
from that time.
I'll explain this.
And
I think I can explain this. One second, bro. If your theory is correct, and there is
I'm like half paying attention, by the way.
Huh?
I'm playing Warframe. I'm playing the new Warframe update. I'm like half paying attention.
yeah,
Because
that's fine,
if
bro.
something I says doesn't track, that's why.
Yeah, that's fine, bro.
I
If it
think that game is really good. Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if it's implicit bias,
really good
if
so
it's
far.
basically implicit bias and there's nothing that can be done, they just don't like the color black, okay? In your opinion, that's what it is today, okay? There are some people that are like that. If that were the case, then irrelevant to the actions that they would take, therefore, so if we were to go in the future, fix the problems, take them out of poverty, crime has decreased, nonetheless, they would still treat them the same. But can we sit here and say that if tomorrow that actually happened, that people would not change their minds? If black people tomorrow just operated at the same level as everybody else, would people still be racially against them? Even though they like act, they do everything like everybody else, they're just like, we're all the same fucking shit.
I mean, over one day that will not change.
No,
but
no,
over
no
a couple
that's
of
irrelevant
years,
to
yeah.
what I'm arguing here. I'm saying you, if that were the case, if that could happen, which I'm not arguing if that could happen or not, I'm saying if that could happen, then would their opinion change?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So then implicit bias goes out the fucking window, or sorry, racism goes out the window, and it's just like they're just basing them off previous actions of their predecessors. And
Yeah,
if
that's
their
what the
actions were to change, then the circumstances would change.
That's
The
what
decisions.
people-
Yeah.
when people have a bias and then the situation changes, and you see
Yes.
black people are succeeding, having a good amount of money
Yes.
and shit like that, then yeah, they change, and then you have
Okay.
less
So,
racism. That's how you get rid of most racism that we have these days.
okay.
Yeah, but the other version is the bad version where you have the real
What are the
racist
bad
people.
version? This is what I'm
No,
misunderstanding
no,
from you.
that's where they don't change their mind.
Who
That's the
who in the
fundamental
right
difference.
mind would like today we are
People
against
that
black
are not in the right minds.
they're not in the right.
That's
Okay.
the whole-
Good
that's
argument.
the whole
Fair
point.
enough. Fair
That's
enough. So
the
you're
whole
saying
point.
like
There's
murderers.
see
Yeah,
baby.
they don't really have a reason to dislike black people.
Yes, but
they
I
just-
disagree with that. I don't think there are human beings in the world who just like have no reason to hate somebody else and they just hate them. I think there is a legitimate
Okay,
reason
go-
in their
go-
minds that they have convinced themselves
100
they
years,
hate
a
black
little bit-
people. Example.
80
that's literally why they made black people
Yes,
slaves,
but
so they
because
could
of the
dehumanize
decisions
them.
or the things that they do,
No,
maybe
no,
it's
no, no,
nothing
no, no, no.
bad.
I'm talking about slaves. I'm talking about slaves. This is irregardless of everything else.
Yes, but
If we're
why
looking
did
at
they take slaves? Why did the Americans go into Africa and
Because-
take slaves? Why?
Yeah, they dehumanized
because
them.
it was
Oh, it was
because
just a
the
reason why they
sadistic
needed to do
act.
that.
It was
hold
just
on. They went to Africa to take slaves because Africa had the market for slaves. They needed they had the demand. Africa had the supply. Once the slaves came here, and
Okay.
were on the boats and stuff. They could not. That's why the N-word became in such affluence in the South and things like that. They could not bring themselves to treat these people or treat these other human beings like outright. Just as they did, so they needed to dehumanize them.
But no,
for
but
little
in
to
their
no
eyes,
reason.
they were always slaves. They bought them as slaves. They brought them to America. They were still slaves. Nothing changed. What? Why would they just wake up one day? Huh?
They didn't see them as
They
humans.
needed to. Yeah, you don't fucking enslave somebody you see as a human.
Yeah, you
would do
enslave
that?
them. They're a
No,
slave
yeah,
to
no,
you.
don't see them them as human. They're
But
basically
yes,
humans.
but
because
that was
that's why
before the
church.
fact.
That's why you had some people that believed that the church should teach that they are lesser humans and shit like
We
that.
absolutely enslave people that we believe are humans. There's like war slaves, very common
Yeah, but
throughout
that's a
history.
different.
That's
a
different.
story.
A
And
That's
I
prisoner
took
of
part
war
in
is not the
9/11.
same thing as that.
Yeah,
Of course it is the same
a
thing.
war
Of
slave
course
is a
it's
little
a-
bit different
Wait.
because yeah.
Why? Wait, no, no.
And they also
Wait,
they
why?
come up with any justification. Well, yeah, because a
mean,
prisoner of war has committed has came there for the express purpose
Killing,
of
yeah.
killing you or damaging your society for the purposes of war.
There are
That's
plenty
why
of
it's
prisoners
different.
of war who didn't do anything. They didn't even shoot one person. They were a fucking medic and they were taken as a
they're
prisoner of war.
But they're a part of the military industrial complex that is trying to do those things.
Oh, so they're
It's
a
very
part of
different
some
scenario.
other belief. They believe in other things, so therefore they have a right to take them as prisoners of war.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why are you
okay.
saying this so sarcastically?
No, I'm not
see
saying
them-
it sarcastically.
you
I'm
can see them as
legitimately
humans.
asking you. But if you want to start shouting, we can all start shouting. So just
Well, no, I'm
take
sorry.
it down a
Like,
notch.
You just came off very
No,
condescending.
no,
right there,
bro.
but-
I'm not
but
being
maybe that's my
condescending.
bad.
I'm legitimately trying to narrow it down so we can move on or actually have
So
a real
you need-
discussion.
You need a reason to treat a human badly as a slave. Yeah, and for war slaves, it was because they wanted to damage your country. They maybe would have killed your wife or shit like that. That's why you can't dehumanize them, because they want to do bad shit to your family. And for black people, it was because, oh yeah, we see them as lesser humans in general speaking, and we search for justification. Maybe some find it in the Bible or shit like that. And
Yeah, a lot of it
believe
was
that
the
shit.
Bible because black is the terms of
Okay.
you know, blackness is the
Evil,
terms of
yeah.
evil, or like a lot
So-
of them
Yeah,
came off the
I
story
get that.
of
Good and
Noah
evil, dark and
Shem,
light.
where he-
Yeah. Fair enough. But
Yeah.
what if they just
Yeah.
took them as slaves because slaves were a commodity in those days? So it was
I
somebody who
mean-
did your work for you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then where do you? I mean,
Wait.
then why
People
not
just
make
like
your
taking
friend?
slaves,
Why not
though.
make your white
People
friend slaves?
really
then?
enjoy
Wait,
it.
why would you
They
do
were
that? They were
certain-
cheaper. They could literally just buy them
were-
in packs or
I
whatever
mean,
the fuck. it was.
but if there's no difference, just why not make your white friends?
No,
Well, because they were
Get over here,
cheaper.
Tom.
The
Okay.
thing is that
And they-
while that was an impetus to enslave people, is because the slaves are actually available inside Africa as opposed to Europe, where all the peasants are protected by the like warlord dukes and that sort
The
of thing.
serfdoms and stuff like that.
Once you put them in plantation agriculture, which is a totally inhumane living circumstance, the mind actually demands that you have to have some sort of legitimate reason why you're treating these human beings
Differently.
like totally expendable in these totally awful areas. So how
And
do you square that? How do you square that?
Exactly.
How do
And
you
we
square
know
that?
that-
You
and we
square-
know
you
that
square
not
by saying
every-
is that they're naturally inclined to do this, that they're not even human, or blah blah blah. And that's
Yeah.
where it comes from. But the initial impetus is in fact like economic, because we want coffee, we
cheap
want sugar.
workers. And
Yeah,
stuff
so they
like-
took them
yeah.
as slaves because they were a
Yeah.
commodity. They worked and
Yeah, but
they went
then
to Africa. They took all of them because they were cheaper to buy. They could buy a lot more of them. There was a lot more of a supply. It wasn't because they
and
just
then-
hated black people that they took them as
Yeah.
slaves, was
But
it?
then they needed
Well,
a reason
sorry.
to justify
Yeah, kinda.
what they do to them. So they need a reason to
Not
justify
back in
that.
those days.
That's-
Having slaves was a normal fucking thing back in those days.
Yeah, I agree. Look, not every person that had slaves is the same. So yeah, for some people they were just okay with it, but many other people needed, for their mental health and everything, needed justification to treat a human being not as a human being, and so they had to make it easier to have a slave and shit like that. They said, "Oh yeah, it's a citizen. It's not really a citizen or shit like that. It's
Okay,
just a
so
human."
after
Yeah, I
they
mean,
brought them back, they started
and
working.
Things like phrenology. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, okay. So they needed a way to justify their actions, and then so they started to dehumanize them and make them look
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, blacks
More and more.
are legitimately born to be slaves. Is the point you're
Yes.
trying to? Yeah, okay. And then what?
Yeah, and then
I think
more
I
and
think
more
we
happens,
hashed
and
that out.
then-
I mean, and then
Does
that's
anybody
simply
have any
kind of
objections to
transferred
that?
on
Like,
onto-
have we
that's
hashed that
simply
out?
transferred onto our society now. Yeah, I never really had shit. What's the word?
Yeah, my thing was just basically like the whole reasoning to go into Africa and take slaves. Like to me, it seems like the most basic answer is probably going to be the answer, which was slaves were a commodity. You needed work to be done. They were cheap. There was more of them. They went in there, they bought them, they took them back to America.
That was the initial
at the most
reason they used to-
fundamental level. There was nothing like,
Yeah.
I hate you because you're black or you are less than me. It was simple, like,
You know,
slaves. I want
which
slaves.
was the initial reason, but once they came to the United States,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
needed to
I don't
put them
disagree
in
with you.
positions
That makes
or-
sense.
yeah.
That makes sense. I can agree with you. Dehumanizing them would give them a justification for the actions that they continue to take, because they didn't just want to throw away slaves or get rid of slaves and have to start doing the work themselves, because it will cost more, it will be less effective, less efficient, whatever. So yeah, I can't disagree with that.
And that's why they dehumanized that. And that was the time where the real racist was present. Yeah, because they then believed that every black baby
I can
that's
see
born
that. I can
is
see that.
then treated not like a human.
Because it's in their best interest. Now they are getting shit done. The work is getting done as long as everybody agrees that blacks are slaves. Okay.
Yeah, and then that's what they see. And these days, fortunately, it's only a bias that most people have that you can try to fix when you tell them, when when we give them information, why certain things are with them, and when we talk about why do you think like you think, that they can understand their own deeper thought process that they have not consciously but unconsciously, that they understand themselves better and see the problems that they have, because it's normal to have biases and everybody has that.
Okay, so theoretically, if they
But
were
it's
to
normal to be racist, is what you're saying. There's no difference between a
To-
racial bias and
it's
racism.
let him
almost
finish, bro.
like
Ham,
that.
let him finish, bro. Tell us, bro.
Let me finish, please. So when you have a racial bias, right, then you don't change it, right? You don't change your mind. Do you then become racist because you didn't change your mind?
You can.
But how does
when
that
it
make
deva-
sense? How
Yes,
does
he
that
needs. We need.
logically
Yeah,
make sense?
yeah. We
Okay,
need the
it can
explanation for
Become
that.
racist because you didn't change your mind.
it can evolve to the point where you then believe that every black person, or be the other group, say
When does
Asian
that happen?
or
When
that-
does that happen? When?
is, even when they're born and the baby, then they're still bad people. They will be bad people when they grow up, and that's the moment when the real when it switched from bias to a real racist. Was then harder to go away from.
Wait,
yeah?
so
To
them
change
giving
their-
birth was when they became racist? Like, I'm trying to
No,
understand the logic behind
no,
that.
okay,
At
the
what
point-
point? Okay, I'll rephrase it. At what point does somebody go from being racially, what is it, biased? Remind me,
To
racially
being a
biased to
racist.
being a racist? What needs to happen? What is the
Yeah,
process?
when
Explain.
you see the point is that when you when it's no longer about a bias but about genetics, basically.
So
When
not
you
bias,
go like-
genetics. So not the
Yeah,
actions
when
of
it
somebody,
reaches-
but then
when you see
genetics.
it's no longer about actions, it's just about your ethnic group.
Okay, but
When
to
that happens,
okay,
then
but
I don't
you
think you're
are
a person that's worthy
racist.
of talking to. You're-
okay, so when you have that circumstance, bro, Ham, is basically what we're saying, or what Dorman, I agree with Dorman, is basically what he's trying to get at is black people did this, or they behave a certain way, which was like the justification. If you go back in the day, whatever, all of that stuff, okay, what we just talked about, they justified their actions, blah blah blah, because they are different, they are black, they are evil, they're whatever, blah blah blah. Okay, so then they associated those actions with the color of that skin, okay, that race of human beings, and then therefore now people became racist because they are against black people. But if we were to erase those actions, or like change those actions, how they what?
Shit's hard.
Yeah, I mean, like, welcome
I'm
to the
sorry,
real
sorry, I'm
world.
talking about-
No,
well,
he's
yeah,
not talking
your
about-
discussion
he's
is also
about
very
fucking the game.
difficult to understand, but I'm talking about Warframe right now. That
Oh,
shit's hard.
bro, oh my god. Yeah, so
Uh,
I'm just trying to understand here, where does the line cross? Like
Okay. Yeah, no, it's as I said, it's the moment where
genetics
it's
and
no longer
actions.
about the
Yeah, but to me,
actions, it's about
actions are why
ethnic
you
group
result
that
to the
you're-
genetics. So it kind of seems like
Yeah,
one follows
yeah,
the
it's-
other.
Yeah, that's absolutely one follows the other, and yeah, over time, when you take away the actions,
Yes.
it can then change. But the difference, the fundamental difference is the bias changes far faster than because it's basically a lack of information that you have. Yeah, and then when you get the information, you probably will change your
Yes, brother.
mind
Yes,
when you're
brother.
not a retard.
But the difference
And
between one and the other,
when you-
racial biased and racist, is one is inherently against the color of their skin. The other one is inherently
not
against their
necessarily
actions.
color, but the
Okay,
ethnic
but if
group.
they were to change their actions, their color of their skin didn't change. So why are they
Yeah, but
still racist? This is our questioning.
Okay. Yeah. No, they probably to some degree will stay racist.
I mean, I wouldn't say
But
they're
it
racist.
will
Why
stay-
though? Why?
Yeah.
I need the logic behind it. There is no explain. You're not giving me an explanation. You're just saying that if they were to change their actions, then
Because
racial
it's what
bias.
they believe. There is no logic in it. There is just, oh yeah, that's a black baby, or that's an Asian baby, or that's a Mexican baby.
But we just
because
agreed
they're-
that the whole
that's
idea of
their-
racism generated from racial biases.
Yeah.
Yes, but if you were to change the racial biases, then nobody would be racist anymore, bro, and there would be no racial biases.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, okay, but no, but you don't agree because you're arguing there are actually people who are against the color of their skin. But in the scenario that we're pointing out, the color of their skin doesn't change, their actions change. So in that theory, only people who are racially biased would change their minds. The people who are racist wouldn't. But you're now saying that they would. So
Okay,
it doesn't make sense. Explain.
I agree. It would change their mind too, to some degree. Yeah. The problem is you go off here from 100%, and I don't operate like that because I know.
Wait, what? What
there
did I
is a
say?
100%
Wait,
group.
what?
No, because you want to give that I give you 100% answers. Yeah, where I say
I want to know the difference
they will
between racial
change
biases and racist.
Yeah.
Yes,
problem
and you
is
can't
there
give me an
isn't-
explanation.
I can.
Okay.
But the problem is you want to that the entire group of people that are racist change their mind or not. And what I would say, some will change their mind, even the hard racists that believe because, oh yeah, you have that ethnic stuff going on, that's the reason why, and yeah, you're bad because of it. Yeah, but when you take the actions away, the why they think so or why they started to think so, then some of them will change too, but not all of them. That's the problem. You're not one. That's the problem with your question that you want to ask me. Yeah, you want to have that I define an entire group of people and say, yeah, they will change their mind or not. And no, some will, some not.
I don't think there are racist. I think there is racial biases.
Bias, yeah, the racial bias. You will have far more people that change their opinion. Yeah, they get away from the racial biases when you take away the actions.
Yeah, and then eventually the other will follow.
Then when you have by the racist people that are really believing because you're born like that, so they will change it too, but on a smaller amount of people.
So what are they supposed to do in the end? Play that out in your head. What are they supposed to stay as a minority of people who hate black people? That's just gonna happen. Yeah, in your mind that actually. So human beings are not social beings, right?
The old people that just hate people for some shit that they had in their going on when they were younger. They hate certain groups because of some conflict that was 200 years ago, but their parents teach them that shit, and they're really racist against certain groups.
Yeah,
and they stay with that. Even these
I mean,
days.
some people literally say
They
the
have
South will
more
rise again, but don't think they're racist at all. Even though the Confederate, the Civil War was fought over the
Fine,
rights of
bro, but I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say is I honestly think those people are just racially biased. Not just, I don't want to play out some small thing. They're racially biased. So they're against black people because they are associated with a specific type of actions or a specific type of way or a way of life. It's not because they're black, because that could not change.
Most people are like that. Most people are like that.
Okay.
Most people that engage in
that's
racist shit are racial bias. But
yeah, and
there
that's
is this
why
really
Daryl Davis can
small-
reach out to these people and actually change their understanding.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are like genuinely just fucking racist to be racist.
Yeah.
I'd agree with you right there. Most people are just like have implicit
It
biases.
just doesn't
or
make
have
sense
racial
in my head. Like, I'm not
biases.
gonna lie, bro. Like, this shit
There
just
is
doesn't
no
make sense in my head.
That's the
Are definitely
point. There
fucking
is
just
no
racist
sense.
out there.
Yeah, but I
Like,
don't.
what make-
That's why I don't think it's a reality. That's why I can't
Okay,
get
so
behind
what-
this.
Oh Jesus!
So what makes
Illogical,
Nazis
what?
what makes Nazis not racially biased then? Or would you say a Nazi is racist, or are they just racially
Nah,
biased?
bro. Like, they were programmed, mate.
What-
Like, Hitler was a really good fucking speaker, and he basically like played with disgust sensitivity within the minds of people, and he was like really
So
fucking.
Nazis aren't racist.
Huh?
So so if Hitler and Hitler's ideology are what
I think he honestly, like, I think he played on like he didn't even have to like associate them with specific actions. But I'm not really
He
very
was
well
populist, yeah,
read
that's
with it.
why.
I don't
but
think he
his
like he went
argument-
into the minutia of like I hate Jews because I don't know they
No.
don't spend a lot of money. I think he just went for they are cockroaches. They need to be crushed. I think
No,
that was more
so-
of what he.
No, look, when we look, I mean, World War II was a
No,
good
he blamed them
example
for the
it.
why we
In
lost
the-
why they lost World War One.
Yeah, in the
essentially.
beginning, they had biases because they didn't have the information, so much information. They believed that they lost the World War One because of them. That was there where they had racial biases that they had going on in their head, and some other stuff about having power positions and shit like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
That
but
was what
really
the
fun.
they got
believed.
they got
And then
demilitarized
Hitler
basically.
got-
They had no way to
then-
defend themselves or whatever.
Yeah, also, and then
Yeah, that's
Also,
Hitler
yeah,
got in,
kind of a
and
minutia.
Hitler is taking these biases
Yeah.
that exist and then trains and makes the people then more and more racist so that they basically
Wait, what?
become the
No,
real
sorry, you're
racist.
confusing. You can't
where
say that.
they-
You can't say that. You can't
What?
say that.
What?
You can't say, like it doesn't make sense to say that, right?
What doesn't make sense? So
He's making them more and more racist.
yeah,
But
he makes them
don't
more
they just
and
have
more
a
with
race?
his rhetoric and with his his influence and the people around him.
He's
that
making them
influence
more
other people
racially
and so on.
biased, is what you're
Yeah,
trying to
making
say.
them more racially biased.
He makes
Yeah.
the racial bias stronger, and over time, the racial bias evolves from a racial bias where you have lack of
just
information
racism.
to just racism, where the people generally believe that they are a superior race because they're white.
No,
and-
that's
and-
supremacist. That's not
yeah,
racist.
but that's what comes out on the end. Yeah, we are better or they are less because of they are born Jews. They are citizens second class. They should be slaves. We should murder them or shit like that.
Mhm.
In the extreme cases, it was about murder. Yeah, and that's how it evolves. It's not just racial bias,
Which
It
is
can
wild. They
evolve
could have
to
just
the
made they
worst.
could have just made the Jews slaves or something. Like imagine wasting
Yeah.
all that free labor. Like you well, I guess they were in labor camps, but I mean like why kill them?
But
Like
not
why
all of them. Not all of them. A
like,
good
yeah, not all
majority
of
of them
them.
wasn't, and they could
Yeah.
use they when they would have been logically.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a waste
And
of
Hitler
resources.
would have used them as
Genuinely.
slave workers completely, and would have made them citizens second class. And he would have made when he would be smart, he would have taken the Jewish woman and made them to breeding women to make next generation soldiers. Yeah, and then they
Yo,
are
Splash, we
second
can't
class
hear you, bro.
soldiers.
We can't hear
Yeah.
you, bro.
In a really worse situation. Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he
Were you
didn't.
saying
He
something? You
was
looked like you were
pretty
talking.
racist
We
to
couldn't hear
people
you.
around him.
Yeah, I was talking to someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're good though. We're good.
so it can evolve, and yeah, I understand that it's not really logically for you because it's not really logically to think like that. And fortunately, most of the real racists are gone in the Western countries. You don't really have them that much. They're really a small minority.
I honestly still
just
believe there
bias.
is just racial bias. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it doesn't make sense in my head.
Yeah, I understand, and it's good that it
That's 'cause
doesn't
you
make
are
sense
racist.
for you. Yeah, and it's good that you
I
cannot
honestly
believe it
believe
because
there
then
is just
speaks
racial
about
bias.
the time is better than it
It's
was.
all just like an extreme version of racial bias. Like that, I don't know. Like
No, it
the way you're
evolves.
explaining
do
it,
you
that's
really okay? When you think somebody is born,
yeah,
evil, and because of his genetics,
yeah.
that's
Because he's
evil.
associated.
When
He's
it's
connected.
No longer about actions. when
He's
it's no
connected
longer
with his
about actions,
predecessors. He's connected to his parents, his grandparents, and whoever did me
Yeah,
wrong or
and because
did
now-
somebody wrong. Then
Yeah, and
the-
so
inherently
because of
he's going to be
that-
the same. That's the idea. It's not more
Yeah.
complicated than that. Yeah, but that's racial
Yeah.
bias, bro. It's not got to do with
No,
the color
it
of his
isn't.
skin.
It-
It could
no,
be Asian, it
it-
could be black, it could be Jew, it could be whatever.
Yeah, it could be every ethnic group, but at that moment, it's no longer about a bias, because it's no longer about lack of information. Even when I give you the new information, you have a high chance to not.
Yeah, I did actually know that. Did you know that one of the first slave owners in the United States was a black man? Yeah, I did. Yep, he was Spanish as well. Or he came with the Spanish. That's actually pretty interesting facts right there. Anthony Johnson, yeah, I read about that. I came across it once. It's pretty interesting.
That they do that, and then he says, "No, it's because of their genetics. That's the fucking reason why they have it." And a person that has a racial bias is still able to engage in a conversation where you tell them why these people do more crime and certain other things. They're still able to engage in that.
Look, honestly, I just think it all comes down to basically, I don't like you for a specific reason, and that's it at the end of the day. And if I can win
Yeah,
you over,
maybe
if
you
I can have
never
more
had
power over you,
interactions.
then I win
I mean,
ultimately.
maybe you had never really interactions with somebody that is really racist.
Oh
that
yeah,
believes
trust me, I
that
have,
they
bro.
should die
I
because of
have,
their
bro.
color.
Bro, I come from Cyprus. Yo, half of my country belongs to the fucking Turks. I know about this shit, bro.
Which country?
Cyprus, bro. Cyprus.
What's Cyprus?
Cyprus, bro. Cyprus. We're a little island in the Mediterranean Ocean, and half of our country belongs to a different race of human being, bro. And they just came in one day and took it. So, and it's not just about that. Like, growing up in Cyprus, like obviously you can tell from my voice that I'm not Greek, 100%. Like I'm like mixed race, so I to some degree I can speak about racism, not to the level that you're speaking.
Yeah, I understand where you are.
Not to the level that you're. Huh?
South of Turkey, the island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
South of Turkey Island, exactly. That's how you describe it, bro. Imagine. Holy shit, that's jokes.
No, that's the best way that everybody knows where it is.
Imagine, bro.
Dude, when I need to describe where my country is, I say it's south from Germany.
Wait, where do you live though? Where are you from?
Austria.
Austria.
Nobody has really an
I
idea.
thought you said
the painter's from.
Huh? Where?
I'm memeing. Don't take me serious.
That's why I say when somebody asks me, then I say, yeah, it's south of Germany, and then people know, oh yeah, Germany is there in Europe.
Wait, there's actually really big figures that come from Austria, isn't there? Like Austrian economics and shit.
That's why he said the painter.
The
There's a
painter.
famous painter that came
Yeah,
from
Hitler.
He's actually really bad at painting. He's really famous for another reason.
Oh yeah.
It's just another
It's all
famous
starting to
painter.
unfold now. We're figuring it out now. Holy shit. That's
I mean,
jokes,
I
man.
don't draw, so.
I mean, George Soros also comes from there.
No, yeah, but
I'm joking, bro. I'm joking. I'm the last person who's into conspiracies, man. Oh. I mean, that's.
or I could say north of Egypt would also.
Nah,
work,
is it, yeah, there is. Yeah. I thought what you originally said was like south of the Turkey island, is what I heard.
No, I said south from Turkey.
Okay, yeah, I misheard that.
Yeah,
I was like, imagine if he's describing it as Turkey Island. I was like, yo,
No,
yo,
I know it's
the racism is hot in here. Holy shit, yeah. No, I'm joking.
I
mean,
Greece is basically Turkey, right?
Huh?
Isn't Greece
Oh,
basically Turkey?
ooh,
No, because
ooh.
I thought the capital of Greece is also a city.
I'm
in
not.
Turkey,
I'm not
right?
Greece,
No,
bro. But you're
Is
going
it
back to like the
Istanbul?
Venetians and the
No, it's
fucking.
not.
Yeah.
Isn't
No.
Istanbul
Yeah.
in Turkey?
Yeah,
Istanbul-
Istanbul is Turkey, but it's not the capital of Greek.
Yeah.
The capital
No,
of Greek is,
Istanbul used to be what was it? Constantinople, which was like Greek, and the Turks took it over.
Yeah,
And they basically burnt all the fucking libraries and thousands of years worth of like shit. Yeah,
but they
like,
improved the Hagia Sophia, right?
bro, I'm not here to discuss fucking Turkish versus Greek. Like, it's all fair and when it comes to war. Like, this is all just a big power
That's
play.
true. Mm-hmm.
Nah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't
all
think
just a
everything
power
is
play. At the end of the
resistable.
day, if I'm more powerful than you have less power over me and I can fuck you over. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, but
Oh
there
no,
are
you
still war
shouldn't.
crimes.
Yeah, but you're talking about morals here. We're talking about like actual fucking things that happen.
Fortunately, Greek and Turkey are in NATO, so they probably don't start a war.
Yeah.
So yeah. But truthfully, I would be standing on the Greek side because Turkey in the past tried to conquer my city.
Yeah.
Twice.
I mean, to be
Can't
honest,
relate.
the fucking Turks. And
I'm a little biased against certain groups. Too,
yeah. I can't blame you. And this is what I'm.
You would be biased.
This is what, like, if you honestly think about it, it's like I don't like I don't fucking know. What am I gonna say now? I don't like women with like a monobrow. It's just like something that I can't get down with. It's not ever gonna happen. Am I racist now against or what is the actual word? Because race is like racist is like a
preference.
Huh?
That would be a preference.
Oh, we call that a preference. Okay, but now
That's okay.
That's not an inalienable fact that like she was like she can get rid of her unibrow. Like she can just shave in the middle of.
All right, she has a birthmark. I don't like her
I know-
birthmark then.
That's also that's not really ethnically.
That's not a preference.
She can't get rid of that, bro.
No, but it's an individual thing. You need to be against the group, and
Yeah, a group of unibrows.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's be
yeah.
honest, there are places.
Yo, I'm
Yes,
taking the
yes,
piss.
yes,
I'll be right
unibrows are
back,
more
guys.
likely.
I'll be right back.